This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we've got our first look at the new Batmobile from Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
Geek Boner.
The coronavirus threatening major comic book conventions and the film industry. And how soon will we see mutants in the MCU? And will it make sense?
What?
Plus, this week's movie review is the Nerd's Pick. It's one of my favorite movies, True Romance, from 1993. And a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, March 4th, 2020.
This is Simon Rex, a.k.a. Dirt Nasty, baby. You know, I like to listen to the Jock and Nerd podcast when I'm driving to work. Wait a minute, I don't have a job. So I like to listen to it when I'm driving to your mama's house. Ha ha. You tired of boring podcast shows? These guys at Jock and the Nerd are the funniest, most entertaining nerds on earth, so check it out, baby dick.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jockin', be nerded. Be funny, disturbing. Jockin', be nerded. Spoiler alert. Oh, yeah. Jockin', be nerded. Disturbing. I'm chopping, nerding. Spoiler alert.
That's right. What's up, listener? Hello, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Cue the boing.
Jock and Nerd.
My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us over there is my imaginary puppet guardian angel that only shows up when I have important life questions and I'm in the bathroom. Both of those things have to happen, and he'll show up. We call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I think you just described Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Hanky always shows up. I love how you show up and you dress like Liberace. That's in my imagination.
Oh.
Yes.
So I show up in the bathroom like Liberace and give you advice?
You give me very important advice.
Sounds like a movie that I just watched.
Yes, it might be. I hope the listener checked out our last episode, Anthony, because you actually made it out to C2E2 this year.
I was there for a little bit.
Did you? What'd you think? Did you have fun?
It was great.
I fucking loved
I had a
it.
good time. Yeah, there you go.
I
Well,
just-
are you even asking? You
I
gonna
know.
ask me? You fucking asshole.
I just wanted to play that clip. Great time at C2E2. Check out that episode. Thanks to Reed Pop and C2E2 for the press badges. But
Absolutely.
there's another big convention coming up later this summer, Rugs.
I heard about this. Well, I know, actually, this is a convention I know about.
Yes.
Because it's about video games, and I play them. It's the E3 Expo. So, 2020 E3 is quickly approaching, and you got to get your badges, because without no badges, you can't get in. And by the way, I think it's near a porn convention. No, I'm lying.
Is it next door to the AVN
I don't know.
2020?
Maybe
It's possible.
I've heard that's happened before,
Yes.
coincidentally. Anyway, besides the porn convention, E3 is the biggest video game event of the year. So you're going to see the latest games in the news. It's going to be from June 9 to the 11th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. So badges are available at e3expo.com. Link in the show notes. Check it out. E3 Expo, motherfuckers.
You know, Ruggs, if we could take you out in public, I would take you to the E3 Expo this year. But we can't because you cause a riot whenever you're seen in public.
Well, I'm not going anywhere because of this crazy scare that's going on.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that a little bit. But I think it'll be fine by June. It'll all be done. Don't worry. E3 is going to be amazing, listener. You should definitely get your badges now.
Hey, did I just torpedo this whole ad?
No, you did it. Everything's fine. Let's carry on.
All right, okay.
Here's
I might
the
fence it.
well.
All right, good.
Let's get to the geek news.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
That was inevitably going to happen one of these weeks. So, whatever. It's fine. Let's start with something that broke today, the day we're recording, Wednesday, March 4th. Now, Matt Reeves has shown us Pattinson in the new bat suit. We've seen the motorcycle and set photos, and today Matt Reeves gets ahead of set photos and reveals the new Batmobile
Geek Boner.
in a series of 3 photos. And what do you guys think of this new design? It's definitely a car and not a tank this time. I don't mind that. It looks like a muscle car. Anthony, thoughts on this? It's different than the last two Batmobiles.
Certainly. Yeah, I guess I'm used to the tank, so I was a little like, oh, what the? This just is a revved up muscle car.
It used to be a car, remember?
But then I thought back, that's how it used to look.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm really kind of partial now to the tank in terms of actually like being functional. Like that's something you would actually be scared of, and bullets would bounce off of it, and you'd be in there and you'd feel safe. I guess this could grow on me too, though. I guess this would be much faster, more sleek. I don't know. We'll see. This is how it used to kind of look.
Yeah, I mean, there's there was a model in the 70s in the comic books that looked like that, but it's a little more grounded, and real. Like,
right.
This is something a guy would put together. Ruggs, your thoughts on this Mustangy looking muscle car Batmobile with the engine in the back?
Yeah, well, it's got a rocket engine in the back.
Oh, that's what that is? Whoa.
Yeah, it's got a little hole, rocket hole.
Love that rocket hole.
Put your pee-pee in there.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
It's a rocket hole. It's where the rocket blasts come out.
Put the rocket in the rocket hole.
It could jump like Knight Rider in the General Lee and shit.
Oh, yeah. Remember the night the kid had a button. What did they call that?
Turbo boost.
Turbo boost, yes. And in the most amazing situations where it had no room to move, you hit that button and the thing just jumps out of wherever you are.
I love that. Well,
it was great.
The Tumbler did the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So the other Batmobiles didn't do that. So the Tumbler is the one that did it, though, the jumping.
Yeah.
The Tumbler.
The Tumbler. Does it come in black?
It comes. I love that it's a car again, and I love how, like.
Well, I have a school of thought on this.
Okay.
All right, so.
I love that Imran asked him and then started just saying his own opinion on it.
Yeah.
Well, have you met me? How long have you been listening to this show?
So, okay, so Batman is a billionaire.
Yes.
Okay. He's starting out in this thing. So he's kind of probably trying to keep a low profile and not make it look like he's like got the military industrial complex building his shit for him.
Yep.
So it's something that probably he cobbled together with maybe some other dude. All right. So it's a more realistic take on what the car is, but that's not saying that he can't graduate to the tank or to the Tumbler.
Sure, you're going to have different
He might
versions.
say, listen, this is not cutting it. I need a little bit more fucking bullshit.
You would need options.
And then, he can build onto it or get a whole, he's going to have a whole fucking shitload of stuff. He's going to have a fucking Batwing. He's got a Bat bike. I think as the movies progress, he'll spend more and more money or figure out, maybe make new alliances that will help him, get the technology that he needs without getting known by anyone.
I like that it would throw you off to the fact that he's a billionaire, right? You wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Some like the Tumblers, you'd be like, oh my God, who the fuck?
Well, but I would say, though, this isn't exactly low key.
I'm sure it's
loud.
Like
Vin Diesel can have this car.
It is.
Sure.
Yes, it's a Bat and the Furious.
You're definitely going to get pulled over by cops for speeding.
Like, we can see cars like this.
Yes.
Like, they used to pimp cars like this on Pimp My Ride. They used to do shit like
They're
this.
like, turn my car into a Batmobile.
We're going to put an entire kitchen in your back seat.
We're going to put a wing on it, and a wing on the front, and a wing on the side.
Yes.
I don't know.
Why not?
Louvers on everything.
We're going to put 7 TVs in your trunk, and the battery's going to last 2 weeks. You ever look up on how those cars did? They would break down.
I'm sure you can't drive them
they're
far.
Complete pieces of shit.
It's not very functional.
No.
If the engine's in the back, what does he put in the front? Is that where Batman keeps his weed?
My bike in it.
Yeah, I'll put my bike in the truck. The truck. I'll put my bike in it.
It keeps his weed.
There's Batman standing next to the car in each of these pictures, and that's Pattinson in the suit. The suit's starting to grow on me from afar. Like, it's got a nice silhouette. And I like this, him doing it yourself kind of.
It's fine.
Fucking sleek Mustang. Yeah, it's cool.
It's not offensive.
As I said, the costume's not going to kill the movie.
No.
It's not going to,
nor will the car or the bat.
I didn't
cycle.
like Bale's first bat suit in Begins. I thought it was a weird looking. It looked weird on his face and had like a weird silhouette. But the movie's great, so it doesn't really matter. It's still Batman. So this is also still Batman. So
I like it. I love how Batman evolves on the screen, and now he keeps evolving, and he will keep evolving. I'm down with this.
Where
Batmobile.
do you think they're gonna go next? I mean, you can get a whole like Iron Man Batman at some point.
Oh,
like
with
where
the whole
it's all like fucking teched out, where he's got like a suit of armor that's like he definitely spent billions of dollars on like a AI suit.
Well, he did kind of the Iron Man Mark 1 suit with that Batman v
in
Superman
BVS,
suit.
yeah. And there was also like the Dark Knight, Frank Miller's Dark Knight armor suit.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, pay attention.
Listening? God damn it.
What happened?
He's thinking about what he's going to say.
I know. That's his thing.
Who is this?
All he does is answer yes, no, yeah. Okay, I'm going to say something now.
Are you guys done?
We figured it out.
Do you ever listen to listener feedback, Imran? Stop fucking talking over it.
So, look, I will now give you, the listeners, some behind the scenes. This envelope fell over. That's the problem. I do have an envelope here that I wrote a big message for myself. So I'm sitting it back up because it fell over. That's what happened. The envelope says in giant letters, "Don't cut people off."
Oh, shit.
So I do listen to listener feedback, listener. I'm trying. I'm going to put this right in front of me. I'm going to put this right in front of me here.
I listened to the C2E2 show.
Yes.
And I was like waiting for Imran to cut off the people that he was interviewing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny. It was like a game. I was like, he's going to have to say something right now.
Listen.
And he did.
You got to keep it moving. Got to keep this shit moving. I don't got all day.
Also, for those that haven't listened to that episode, he was drunk within a beer and a half.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And he was, very talkative and not pressing a record on all the interviews.
Yeah, so it was a blessing and a curse because I was ready to talk to anyone, but sometimes I forgot to press record. So
it happened more than once?
No, just the one time.
Okay,
only with the guy with the most followers we'd probably ever talk to Don Diablo with 2 million followers.
It's fine. Nobody knows what they're missing. You're not going to miss it. I wanted to ask the listener, though, what they thought of the Batmobile. Let us know. Get in touch. Join our Facebook group.
They let us know?
They have let us know at Jock and Nerd Nation.
Yeah, join the Facebook group. It's free.
You can chop it up with us.
Yeah. And then you could get inside stuff.
It's technically not free. You sell all your information to Mark Zuckerberg. So,
well,
that's the cost.
Yeah, we're already doing it.
We're already doing that. Nobody cares.
You got Instagram. You're doing it anyway. So.
But we have reactions from our awesome listeners and friends. Daniel Nosker says, looks good. Fits the DIY early Batman vibe they seem to be going for. Irving De La Cruz, kind of a Mad Max GT40 look. I'm not mad at it. Ulysses Jorge, or maybe it's George. I don't know how he says his name. He says, love it. My most anticipated movie of 2021. Justin Zwerner says, looks cool. I wonder if this is going to have sequels where we see it evolve along with the suit. Ken Anderson says, is it just me or is anyone like, pick one already? It's going to keep changing, Ken. Sorry.
Pick one what?
I guess just one Batmobile, one Batman suit, one Batman person. You got to keep switching it up. It's not like a Wolverine Logan deal. So, I don't know. J.R. Flyman says, ooh, rear end reminds me of old school Ferrari. Front end looks like a modern Dodge. Mid engine is neat. Just leaves more room for gadgets in the front.
Yeah, that's where those guns are going to come out of.
It's going to have some tricks in there. It's not just a fucking muscle car. But
it's going to need a grappling hook so it could go around the corner like in the first movie.
Like in 89 Batman. You can't corner. You got to fucking hang on to something when you corner. Corner tight. Anthony, I did watch Ford versus Ferrari. All this talk reminds me.
Did you?
Yes. And I know you did an instant reaction for Patreon.
Is it up on Patreon yet?
It is on Patreon. But a lot of this, the people were making Ford versus Ferrari jokes and Fast and Furious jokes. And
I could see the correlation.
Yeah. Batman versus Ferrari.
Car. Makes sense to me.
Yes. Guy driving car fast? Yes. All right. Well, look, we have to talk about something.
This has been an awkward episode already.
Really? You think so?
I like it.
No,
I like it. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
It's fucking awesome.
It's a little strange.
Yeah, that's really good.
See, you guys, John Bellotti.
Not as strange as the episode, I believe, last week or prior to the C2E2 episode where you decided to play a puppet getting head and only do audio because it's an audio only show.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
Yep.
That's the best part of the video. What's the audio? Honestly.
Yep.
Yes.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Our next...
I'm doing a lot of fake laughing.
You motherfucker. Look, we finally have to address the big thing that everybody has been talking about. The media is talking about. It's affecting
Do we have to?
every industry. Yes, because...
Why?
Because the big news that Wendy's now has breakfast sandwiches is just it's devastating to McDonald's bottom line. And it's got the world by storm.
Did you try these breakfast sandwiches?
No, I haven't, but McDonald's was giving out free breakfast sandwiches the day Wendy's released theirs on the first day.
Shit.
They were like, hey, use our app, come get a free one.
Yeah, fuck you redheaded biatch.
Yeah, no shit. Wendy's has the fucking best Twitter account any fast food places you're going to see. I have not tried it. So
okay, well, I got to get over there.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fucking coronavirus. It's just fascinating to me, the amount of different industry and fields that this fucking thing is affecting, right? And I'm the conspiracy guy. I'm not going to freak out about this. I'm not trying to start any panic, but it's hard to ignore. Let me just read a handful of headlines to show you.
These are just facts.
Yes, I'm not going through these stories. These are things that are happening that are affecting some of the stuff we talk about. Just our little bubble. Here's some headlines. Warner Brothers cancels Superman Red Sun premiere over coronavirus fears. DC pulls out of Emerald City Comic-Con and all March cons, and joining them, Dark Horse, Penguin, Random House, and more pull out of Emerald City Comic-Con.
DC was at C2E2.
Disney, Jim Lee was at C2E2.
They don't like you, Washington State. That's actually where coronavirus in the U.S. started.
Oh, shit. That's where it started, huh?
Yeah. That's where the first reported cases
makes sense why everyone is bailing from Emerald City.
Right.
I'm seeing more creators on Twitter going, we're not going to be there. But, yeah, Jim Lee was just there, and it was awkward because they just fired Dan Didio, and Jim had to be like, oh, shit. Regarding those rumors, he was like, we're not replacing him, and it's not a company-wide reboot, and I think they're backpedaling a little bit on some.
Oh yeah, they're definitely trying to damage control.
More headlines. Disney scraps Thursday's Disney Punch launch event in London amid growing coronavirus fears. Disney Plus was about to launch in the UK this month, and we probably would.
Did you say Disney Punch?
Disney Punch. Is that like a sex move? How do you do the Disney Punch?
I tried it once.
Was that like a donkey punch, but you do it with wearing mouse ears?
You hit your partner so hard that they start making sounds like Goofy.
They go, that hurts. Disney Punch.
Imran already sounds like that.
I do. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, where's Donald at? So we were going to get announcements probably of some of the new Marvel shows or maybe some new trailers or something, but they scrapped that.
Welcome.
Coronavirus outbreak could force Disney's Mulan out of China entirely.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
This is a big gamble for a number of things, Mulan.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, my God.
Like, the movie they made to appeal to China could never play in China.
They literally made this. It looks like a Chinese international movie. They made it for the Chinese market. Two huge things they gambled with on this. It's the first PG-13 live-action remake of one of their cartoons, and it cost like $200 million.
Oh, shit.
So
Yowzers.
That if they look at these next headlines. China's box office plummets 1.91 billion in 2 months due to coronavirus. Coronavirus could cost global film industry $5 billion. You know, I think all their movie theaters are closed. They're going to shut them down. So all movies are going to be hurt, and Mulan especially.
Like, that's weird. Like, keep going.
Okay. The James Bond movie, No Time to Die, release date pushed back over 7 months. And this probably the worst that's going to hurt the most. Baby Yoda toys likely delayed due to coronavirus.
Oh, shit.
What? Get the fuck out of here. This is what I don't understand.
This is a little crazy.
So let's say, for example, that this is like, you know, it's a major thing and it's an emergency and blah, blah, blah. Why can't everything just be deferred? Like, we pause everything.
Yeah.
And then you defer. Yeah. You just push it back and then you just resume. Like, why do you have to lose money? Like, I don't understand. Like,
logistics of scheduling.
I think it's the logistics of scheduling, and then if you push one back, it might interfere with something else.
There's a chain reaction.
So they'd rather just take the loss up front rather than have to deal with the headache of pushing everything.
Because, like, when you're in college and you can't pay your loans, you defer the payment, right?
Yeah.
And then
I did that for like 15 years.
Yeah. You're still deferring.
I'm still deferring. Come and get me, government. Fuck you.
Oh, shit.
Shouldn't have given me the money to begin
for
with.
Like a month and a half or like a month, like, and then you get back in. Is that going to really be like
you
a
can't
huge
pause
thing?
Everything for 2 months.
Not everything, but you can pause certain things. Yeah.
So we were talking about C2E2, Anthony, and how, to their credit, they put out a release saying, look, we are concerned about this COVID-19. We're still having the convention. Just be smart. Wash your hands. If you're sick, don't come. And so Wizard World Cleveland is this weekend. They're still going on. They've put out a similar thing. And I didn't really notice anybody One thing I did notice is there were a lot more fist bumps than handshakes. That was the only thing I noticed.
Yeah, people are encouraged now to fist bump rather than handshake. And so just some stuff outside of, first off, for as far as C2E2, I mean, we don't know yet because this virus takes 14 days to incubate.
Oh, shit.
But didn't seem like anyone was all that worried from being there.
Yeah.
Some sports stuff, players are now encouraged to bring their own pens to sign autographs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Or limit the amount of autographs they're signing.
Yeah.
Chicago State canceled a few basketball games in Washington State and on the West Coast because of fears. And Ultra Music Festival in Miami is, I believe, going to be postponed or canceled.
Wow, is that a EDM concert?
It's one of the bigger festivals to start off the festival season. So, yeah, it's affecting some things here and there. And stock market's not great.
Well, you know, that McCormick Place, there was huge South building. After that weekend, the International Housewares Convention said they are canceling their trade show at McCormick Place, which, like, so you think of all the people that work there, all the cab drivers, all the hotels, how this ripple effect.
I mean, I got a thing from United saying if you book your flight between now and March 31st and need to reschedule it at any time, feel free to do so.
I think everyone, instead of handshakes and fist bumps, everyone should do like the kid and play foot tap thing. You seen that? You know what that is? This is a really old school fucking...
I just want to see people like hit each other in the balls.
So you just... Yes. How about that? You smack balls to say hello.
Well, like if you raise your knee up too high, you could trip somebody and like sweep the leg by accident.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. No, you do the kid and play foot tap and you dance around. I don't know. Imagine movie theaters are forced to close like they are in China. This is a disaster for the film industry.
Yeah, it's affecting a lot of things. Hopefully, I mean, personally, I think people are getting a little too crazy about it, but there's no known cure, and the mortality rate's higher than the flu. It's not high, but it's higher than the flu, and it spreads pretty easily. So,
you know, I'm alarmingly also not as concerned. I'm just in the middle of like not caring at all or being overreacting.
I will say, like this past week, I've been going to the bathroom and like washing my hands very thoroughly.
Yes.
Now, rather than just the quick rinse under the water, maybe a little soap on the finger that you had touched your dick with, and then drying.
My dick's clean. Dude,
for what it's worth.
I went to Target looking to buy some fucking hand soap for our bathrooms and kitchen. Fucking empty.
Oh, shit.
I bought the last 3. The shelves were empty. Apparently Australia is running out of toilet paper. People are starting to hoard masks and shit.
Yeah, it's being encouraged not to hoard because this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't need all of them.
Yeah. Ruggs, how concerned are you realistically with this?
Well, I'm in New York City.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And there's already a lot of
Everyone
cases.
lives on each other.
Yes.
There's a lot of people like within 6 feet of each other, which is like you're like right up people's asses on the subways and stuff.
Yeah, you've been in those subways.
So,
Jesus.
The fact that this thing takes 14 days to show signs and then people are just going about their days for 14. There's a lot of, I think there's a lot of room for contamination. So just realistically, pragmatically speaking, like, yeah, I'm sure that by the end of next week, it's going to quadruple in number of people who are being looked at and people who are testing. I think that's whatever. But now, how far is that going to creep out? The thing is, there's not enough information out there to make people like calm down. Like they're releasing stuff. It's just like the flu. You cough, but then, and you get pneumonia. And if you're young, you can make it. You might have to go to the hospital, but you'll be fine. So it's just like all of this mystery. You don't really know exactly what's going on yet.
Plus, I feel like, information out of China, I don't know how trustworthy that can be, because just like Russia and Chernobyl, they don't like to tell people the bad news.
I feel like if you live in New York City, you've caught every disease and had that. At least you've caught like every disease twice and had it and recovered because it's just in New York.
Yes.
And you just keep moving.
Yeah, if you have like a really good immune system, I think you'll be all right.
New Yorkers are tough like that.
They're tough.
They fucking eat the gum off the sidewalks.
They never sleep.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that they said in China was like there's a lot of smokers in China.
Oh, yeah.
Like most men smoke. And people are smoking from like 11 years old over there.
Yeah.
As they should.
So it's a lung. Start them young. Gotta get them young.
That compromises your lungs.
Yes,
so
and
I
it
think
starts
that's
in the
one
lung.
of the reasons the death toll is so high there.
It's a respiratory deal. Yeah.
So like a place where like smoking is frowned upon, like New York has cut back a lot on smoking. some people still smoke, but like, it's not as pervasive as it is in China, I would say. So I think that maybe that's a factor that we haven't really
But listen,
explored.
Don't worry, listener. This whole thing will blow over by June, just in time for the E3 Expo. Get your badges now. E3,
Yeah.
E3expo.com.
You might need, listen, you're going to be pent up in your house, watching Netflix and masturbating, and then possibly playing video
You're
games
going to need
and
an
masturbating.
escape. Yeah, and if you're
And
still worried, just
you need to get
cosplay with somebody with a mask on, like Bane or that dude from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
It'll be
or I
fun.
want to go as Cobra Commander.
Yeah, you could do Cobra Commander, full face mask.
Yeah, mirror mask. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think the Hannibal Lecter mask would work well?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of holes in that one.
Yeah,
It's just you
yeah.
breathe right through it, so maybe not.
Okay.
Good try though, Anthony.
I was trying.
You
I want to cover my entire face. I'm gonna wear that mask from the girl from Rise of Skywalker that we couldn't see her even her eyes.
all over the face and chest rugs.
Yes.
Okay,
What was her name? The name of that Zora or Zero?
Yeah, Carrie Russell's character.
Yeah.
She had a cool helmet, dude. I would know. You could cosplay as that person, the helmet with the big fin. I forgot her name already. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No.
Let's move on to some Disney Plus and Marvel TV news.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
What if this? Okay, go with me on this.
Okay. Hit
So
me.
what if this thing happens and people are all like, and they're canceling movies, they're like doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that Disney will be like, oh, we're going to launch our movies on the app.
Well,
We'll charge you like a one-time fee for the movie, and then they can recoup their money for their, whatever.
if people stop going and if they shut the movie theaters down, I had that thought a little while ago. They could just release everything streaming for like another premium tier or something.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
But they're not. I don't know. They're not making as much money now off ticket sales. I don't know how you balance that.
No,
out.
but you would charge.
You just charge it.
Oh.
The only thing is that when you get a ticket sale, you have to buy a ticket for every ass in the seat.
Right.
So they would have to like make sure that their average ticket, the price of their rental is as high as the ticket sales. So you might have to pay $20 to rent it.
Well, remember back in the day, there was that whole idea. This guy wanted to make like an online box, and it was like $50, and you get first run movies as when they release in the theater. And the whole point was to like get a bunch of your friends to chip in, and you can watch it streaming,
like pay-per-view.
Like pay-per-view. So you could just do VOD on demand streaming, but you charge like $20.
Charge theater pricing.
At least.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, the Mission Impossible.
And the movie theater or the studio, especially Disney in their case, they would have to obviously pay for whatever it costs to stream it, but they wouldn't have to split that cut with the movie theater.
Well, so now the only person that really gets hurt in this is the movie theater. They lose concession sales and they lose the cut of the thing.
Right.
So then I think they make most of their money from the fucking concessions, not the movie itself. So that industry would die off. Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible movie, also they
that could
stopped
be the
filming.
thing that kills the theaters, like forever.
Mission Impossible?
No, Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise? No. If this gets crazy, it's just fucking. It's a little nuts. But I think we'll be fine.
No, I mean, all it takes is one time that a movie comes out early, and then all of a sudden they're just like, let's do it again. We made a lot of money. Let's do this again. So then you're like, why would you ever go to the theater? Well, getting these movies coming out right here. So
I mean, I feel like now that James Bond movie moved back, I think movies coming out in March and April are going to have a hell of a time. And the film industry's going to take a hit already. It already has. The Chinese box office already has.
Yeah, we'll see. It's
crazy.
Hopefully, for everyone's sake, they figure something out.
Hopefully, if it gets warm, it gets better.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This could either go away in like a few weeks, or it could change like a lot of things. Like a lot of things that we're used to can change. Move the whole thing. The whole movie thing.
The thing itself could mutate and change and present another problem.
Oh, zombies.
Well, that was the other thing. This is the start of so many goddamn sci-fi movies that I love and have watched.
Shit.
Just remember, though, I mean, I don't know if it was this crazy, but remember SARS?
Well,
remember swine flu?
Yes, we've been through Ebola. We've been through MERS.
Right.
We've been through
MERS.
H1N1. Yes. There's been several.
Yeah, but there's no cool meme for this.
No,
we need a cool meme.
This is a cool one for sure.
Don't buy stock in Corona beer.
As we said, Imran, there should have been someone at C2E2 dressed up as a Corona bottle and just attacking people.
I was looking for someone to have that sense of humor. And
the virus, I'm getting you.
I'm going to get you. And like holding like a bottle of Corona in their hand.
Right.
Would have been hilarious. And I'm a coronavirus and I'm drunk. Yay. Come and get me. No, nobody had that. Nobody had that creativity, you fuckers.
Or the balls.
Or the balls. Like, I don't know. You think people would have gotten mad too soon?
Do you think that this affected voting for Super Tuesday?
Yeah. I think it could.
Yeah, I think so.
They don't want. You don't want to be in a group, in a crowd.
Ooh.
Or you just wear a mask, if that even helps.
Fuck that show.
Fuck that show.
All right, we're done with the coronavirus. We're fine.
Right.
Everyone relax. It'll be fine. I want to talk about this crazy rumor that...
How reliable are these things, these sites you're looking at?
No, well, this one rumor it's not real at all, but it got so crazy that legitimate sites picked it up because some asshole said that Henry Cavill is going to be Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2.
What?
There's so many things wrong with that statement right there to begin with, but... somehow like Entertainment Weekly and some other places like picked this up and ran with it. And I think we should just continue to further debunk how dumb this is on numerous levels. Right?
What, him as Wolverine?
Him and Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2.
What would make it dumb? I know that it's not true, but what makes it dumb?
He's the Witcher. I think he's going to be playing the Witcher for the next like 5 seasons or 7 years. So you think he's pretty busy doing that. He still wants to be Superman.
Okay.
Right.
And Wolverine and Captain Marvel 2 makes no sense. Why would you debut Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2? I would love to see like a Hulk Wolverine film, like he was introduced in the comics.
Right.
Third point is the best point.
Okay, so, but...
The other two are good, but the third one's, there's no reason why Wolverine would ever appear as his first appearance being Captain Marvel.
Is Henry Cavill the worst guy that could play Wolverine?
No, I actually kind of like the pick.
But
they've already done the Wolverine doesn't have to be 5'3",
right?
With the previous casting. So
I think it would be cool to have it be a shorter guy. That's a little bit more Mel Gibson like.
If they decide to use him against Superman and he's Superman and the Witcher and Wolverine, like it's a little much. Come on, Cavill.
Like, I could see Tom Hardy being Wolverine.
Tom Hardy would be a pretty dope
He's
Wolverine.
actually only like 5'9", I believe.
Ooh, Tom Hardy?
They made him, they filmed him to be a lot taller as Bane, but he's only like 5'9", 5'10".
He, like in Venom, he's not that tall. And then in Bane, you're like, that's the same fucking guy.
Tom Hardy would be good.
Yeah.
But he's Venom.
I mean, Cavill's got the body type and he's got the intensity. But I think it's just...
I would like to see a short Wolverine just because we had the tall Aussie.
Yes. Give me the short, squatty Wolverine.
We're going to get Tom Hardy to do it? Or Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Who's wide?
Danny DeVito.
Who's wide? Who's short, wide, and stocky? I'll still go back to...
you got Daniel Craig, or what? Not Daniel Craig. Hurry Potter. Daniel whatever.
Radcliffe. Radcliffe? No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
His name's been bandied about.
He looks like Cyclops.
No, what about Tom Hardy Light? What's that dude's name? That's an upgrade.
Oh, that guy.
That guy would be all right.
Logan.
He's almost too skinny though. He could
bulk up. Yeah.
You need like a stocky.
I mean, where do you find someone who's that short and
Manu Bennett.
Built? Manu Bennett. Deadshot.
It would be great if he could do an English accent, but a regular American accent.
Yeah, the thing is, like, to find an actor that short, most actors would be cut off from ever being an actor. They'd be like, no, you're too short.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Cruise
unless you look like fucking Danny DeVito. Or Tom Cruise, he runs really well, so he's great at running. So.
And Tom Holland is pretty short.
Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Well, now it's all about inclusivity, so maybe I'm wrong. I just made an argument against myself.
There's another theory.
Imran's pretty short.
I'm short and round in the wrong places.
and your hair kind of spikes out on the sides. I do have the
Wolverine hair with the stripe.
Yeah, but you don't have any hair in the middle. That's the problem.
No, that is an issue. They can Photoshop that in post. They put it in fucking After Effects.
And your skin kind of is like the healing ability with the way the melatonin fades away. It's like real life healing, except not.
Except I sunburned if I stand next to a light bulb.
And you have actually no immune system whatsoever.
Yes,
so
I have
like
the opposite. I have the opposite of Wolverine. I heal slowly and I have no immune system. And my bones are...
Wolverine would be everything you wanted to be.
Instead of made of metal, they're made of butter. They're made of chocolate pudding. When do you think Wolverine will show up? Who shows up first? How do they introduce the X-Men into
Well,
all
he's the
this
heavy
shit?
hitter, so they're gonna definitely use him soon.
Do you think we'll see X-Men on the Disney Plus shows before? And will it be in Phase 4?
I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how they're gonna introduce this shit.
Right? And when they do, how do you explain where they've been this whole time? What do you and do you offer the role back to Hugh Jackman? Maybe would that be confusing?
No, I wouldn't do it
No?
with Hugh Jackman.
If time is reset and it's a different thing, no.
He's just so old.
Yeah, he's kidding.
I mean, he can still probably do it, but at some point, he's not going to look like he's young forever.
I think you need a no one. I think
unless you do the Irishman thing and you just make him look young
and then de-age him. You can do that. Yeah. I think you need a no-namer.
I'm with Ruggs. I can't wrap my head around how they're gonna do this stuff. I think Phase 4 is almost their experimental phase, and they might wait till Phase 5.
Wait, and maybe they introduce the Fantastic Four first. I'm dying to know how they introduce the X-Men. There's another rumor that said there may be an obscure X-Men showing up in the Shang-Chi movie, a character known as WizKid, a computer genius who's confined to a wheelchair. He has the ability.
Wow.
Yes, exciting, right?
Wow, that'd be a real bummer if that was the first X-Men.
Wow, lame.
He has the ability to create machinery with his mind. Let's not be what's the word? Listen, you could be impaired and be a superhuman.
That's the floppy jock.
Oh, sorry.
Floppy jock.
He can create machinery with his mind.
That's bad.
Well,
so can Steve Jobs.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think you need a better intro into.
Technically, they've already debuted X-Men.
Where? What? How?
Scarlet Witch and
So
Quicksilver.
That's the most, I think, concrete thing we can have going for is in WandaVision. And like we saw in that trailer, she has kids. She's maybe rewriting time or jumping through time in the TV shows. The kids, canonically in the comics, are mutants. She was a mutant and an Avenger. Does she?
It's called a miracle.
She's a miracle, right?
Yeah.
But she's been both, and she's a mutant in the comics. So does she create the mutants by some weird thing when she gets her powers? Or do they come in Eternals, it being this cosmic story that spans 7,000 years? But then how do you explain where they've been this whole time?
I think that this is what I would do, is that I would use Wanda as the conduit, right? So basically, she can see multiple universes at once.
Yes.
All right?
Okay.
She can. All right? And she sees the universe that she's from, and she sees an alternate universe where there aren't, where there's mutants, and she's one of them. All right? And somehow she just fuses those worlds together. And that's it. So that in the world that she sees it, they have a whole past that is devoid of Iron Man or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe she sees the Marvel universe as it is supposed to be, that how it actually existed all whole. And this universe that we've been exposed to has only certain aspects of it, but she melds them all together and unites the universes. That would probably make more sense, because then all this stuff that's there can just kind of, they've already reset the thing and they've done the snap and they've jumped the world 5 years and fucking did that bullshit. Like, why can't they do this? Why can't this be the cataclysm at the end of the Phase 4? Or something like that.
Do you erase all the history of these mutant characters and start fresh, or happened there?
You act like they've always been there. Like Wolverine's been there in his yellow tights this whole time in this other universe. And we can even have a movie to explore that thing that's separate from Marvel continuity. But then all of a sudden, at the end, she fuses them all together and they become one continuity.
See, that's my other question. If this happens and now you have mutants in the MCU with these heroes, like mutants have been hated, but why would somebody hate the mutants and like love Spider-Man that also has powers? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well, that's always never made sense, even in the real
That's
comics.
true. And they've kind of kept it separate. Like X-Men will have their deal.
Yeah, they do the crossovers, but for the most part, they tried to always keep the X-Men in their pocket because it doesn't make sense.
It's a tricky.
Why does mutant mean anything different than anyone else?
Any other powered person. This is a very tricky thing to get right, and I can't.
Well, I think that the difference is that, like, when you have an accident happen, that's like a 1 in a million chance.
Sure.
So you're not really like scared that it's going to happen to you. But when it's a mutant, you're like, dude, if I have a kid, that kid could be, or I could, if I hit puberty, I could become a mutant.
So they kind of did that with the Inhumans.
So it hits closer to home, I think.
You look at the shitty Inhumans, And in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they kind of had the people had that fear of these people. So, that being born with it doesn't make a big difference. If you push that angle.
I was born with it.
There you go.
Molded by it.
I give the city back to you, the people.
I was born with it.
Speaking of Eternals, let's close with this story that I love regarding Kumail Nanjiani, who is
your boy.
That's my boy right there.
Indian or Packy?
He's Packy. He's Packy like me, and he's actually brown, unlike me.
Yeah.
But he's playing Kingo in the Eternals. Now, in the comic books, Kingo is a samurai during the 16th century and uses those skills in the present day to become a movie star in Japan. That's his secret identity. I think you can see where this is going. This version, Kumail is going to be a Bollywood star. And there's apparently a Bollywood dance scene in the movie.
Imran just jizzed all over himself.
I had several geek boners. Bollywood MCU combining. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
With Kumail Nanjiani. I mean, I think it's really funny where like he's supposed to keep his secret identity a secret, and what does he do? He becomes the biggest Bollywood star ever. It's a great contrast, and a lot of comedy can come from that. So this movie already, like, this sounds weird. Like, what is this movie going to be? You got a fucking Bollywood dance scene in Eternals. I can't wait. I didn't think I'd be excited.
When I saw my first dance scene in a Marvel movie, which was Spider-Man 3, I wasn't that enthused.
Yeah, well, he was a little emo, and he was doing the shooty guns thing, which you never want to do. Bollywood, though, that's why he had to get jacked, just to do the fucking Bollywood scene. Oh, yeah, that's a workout. You ever seen those fuckers?
Have you ever done one?
No, but
have you ever had to perform a dance like that?
Yes.
Growing up.
At weddings, the people you would kind
Imran was a dancer in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, that's true.
And he did a dance number.
Every person that's ever been related to you was just rolling in their grave. You've been doing that.
No, I've done choreography. I can do the moves.
He danced in Jesus Christ.
I've been in musicals. I've been in a lot of musicals. In high school and college, was choreography. It's all about the choreography. And 1, and 2, and 3. Step ball change.
Was this the same? Never mind. I got nothing. I was going to reference you being naked in the video.
No, that's a different movie. That's a different movie. There was no dancing in that movie.
His nude scene was a completely different thing.
Remember I showed you the music video where I was dancing with that old black lady? You saw
that? Yes, I do.
I remember that. Look that up, listener.
What was the name of that again?
Real Love? No. Yeah, Real Love. It was like a Mary J. Blige song, I think. No, that was a Mary J. Blige song. It's called, I can't remember. We'll look it up later.
Oh my God.
We played it on the fucking show.
It's on YouTube, isn't it?
It is on the YouTube. Me dancing in an R&B music video from the late 90s. It's amazing. And with that, we're going to take a break. I'll leave you with that image of me Bollywood dancing, listener. I'll play some promos, and we'll be right back with a review of True Romance and a whole bunch more right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm RJ Metzger.
And I'm Rachel Metzger.
And we're the Skeptical Skeptics.
Each week we talk about all the crazy things in the world, ranging from the paranormal to Bigfoot to UFOs.
And we look at it from the perspective of the believer, the skeptic, and everything in between.
So come check us out on the MSC Podcast Network.
Or go to skepticalskeptics.com and follow us at SkepSkepPod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get you back to your podcasty goodness now in a minute.
First, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our marginally better podcast, the 365 Flicks podcast.
I am the Scottish weeding whore, Chris.
And I am the Pissy X video store clerk, Kev.
And we bring you the latest movie and TV news, reviews, and rants.
All that and a bunch of top fives that you really will not care about.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Libsyn, and all other third-party podcasting apps.
And on top of all that, you'll get free access to our indie talk. You'll hear us speaking with directors, producers, actors, comic book creators, and artists about their experiences.
Don't forget to drop us 5 stars and follow us on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
Told him not to go in the water.
Listener, if you enjoy the Jock and Nerd podcast, you must right now run to your computer or on your phone and join the Jock and Nerd fan club. Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. There is a link in the show notes. We appreciate your support. You help the show keep going every week, and you get bonus content in the form of a whole nother podcast feed where all of these shows, the main show comes out early, and you get post shows, instant reactions, bonus episodes. There's hours more. If you have listened to everything in this main feed, there's another like 70 to 100 hours of shit over there. So we'll keep you geeky all the time. Anthony, your Oscar-nominated movie marathon continued this week. What'd you put up?
I got Ford v. Ferrari
up
there.
Yes, we mentioned
got that.
Yep.
Yeah, and probably very soon I'll have...
You got 2 left.
Yeah, I do have 2 left. Very soon I'll probably have Jojo Rabbit up there.
I think you are going to... There's my prediction. Anthony bails on Little Women.
No, I'll find a way.
You will watch.
You are going to watch it. I mean,
it's part of my goals. I wrote down a list of goals because I don't write everything down.
Yeah.
And it's on there to watch all these fucking
movies. The thing
movies.
with the Little Women to me, though, is that this movie has been done several times, and the book is something. It's classic
I haven't seen
literature.
Any of them.
So
I haven't even read that fucking book.
So I feel like I don't know if it's better reading it or just going in and watching it or just being exposed. It may be the best version of the story.
Who knows?
I'll
tell you.
Okay.
Well, I won't tell you because I've never read any other version, but. I'll let you know if it's good or not. I'm definitely the target demo for that movie.
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
Jocktastic.
Yes, look, and maybe we'll discuss a little bit Ford versus Ferrari in the post show because I did also watch that, enjoyed it. So good stuff. Sign up today, listener, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And if you give us $10 a month or more, you can force us to review any movie. We've been doing Patreon requested movie reviews. We have done 26 total. We are in round 2. Meaning if you support us at $10 or more for more than a year, you get to pick a second movie. But it's a good time to sign up now and get your first movie in because we'll do that right away. However, we're not going to be doing that today because I decided last week to switch it up a little bit. I wanted all of us, based on a listener suggestion, all of us to pick a movie for everyone else to watch. And this week, it was my pick. The movie is True Romance from 1993. Here's your spoiler alert.
Before we get started... Does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
Oh, yeah. Why did I pick this movie? Well, 1993, when this movie came out, I was a young 17, 18-year-old in art school in Brooklyn. And just the movies of Kevin Smith, of Quentin Tarantino, of like Darren Aronofsky, they inspired me and the connects with that time. And just, I would hang out with the movie geeks. We all wanted to write dialogue like Tarantino and Kevin Smith. We wanted to make movies like Pulp Fiction. Like it's just so inspiring to be like, look at this fucking character dialogue driven, violent, gritty fucking movies that it's remained in my top favorite movies since then. We did all watch the director's cut, correct?
Right.
Wonder what's different.
Well, so I don't know.
Slightly more violent.
I don't know. I couldn't pick out what was different. It was weird because on Amazon that was the only version available to watch.
Very strange.
The other 2 had listings, but it said this video is not available. So I was like, all right, director's cut. It's 2 hours, and I don't remember anything extra from the movie I remembered. So on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is sitting at a lovely 92%. 7.54 out of 10 average rating. Audience score also 93%. Box office wise, the budget for this movie was the budget. Box Office Mojo, of course, doesn't have it. Oh, the budget was $12.5 million.
Whoa.
The movie opens to $4 million and ends up making exactly about $12.5 million. So it was a low budget cult hit. Made up a lot later in DVD sales. This movie has just an amazing 90s cast of talent and crew behind the screen, in front of the screen, directed by the late, great Tony Scott.
I love Tony Scott movies.
Love Tony Scott. Ridley Scott's brother. Of course, Anthony, you know Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Tony Scott?
Wasn't familiar up until this movie, and then I realized, looking him up, that he's done a bunch of movies that I'm familiar with.
Yes, he has. I mean, he died in 2012 at 68, and somehow Ridley Scott is still alive, and I think he's a lot older.
I think he committed suicide.
Oh, he did? Oh shit. He did. I did not. forgot to look that up. That's crazy. But Tony Scott also directs amazing movies like Man on Fire, Crimson Tide, The Last Boy Scout, Days of Thunder, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Top Gun, Deja Vu. He did a lot of Denzel Washington movies, Unstoppable, Enemy of the State, The Fan. Just a great director filmography here. Written by another guy you may have heard of, Quentin Tarantino. This was Tarantino's first screenplay he wrote, but this movie came out after he had already done Reservoir Dogs.
I heard that he wrote this, and Natural Born Killers came out of this script.
Fun fact, he wrote this on a road trip. The original script was 500 pages long, and the story was Clarence was, in the original script, Clarence Worley wrote the screenplay for Natural Born Killers while traveling cross-country with Alabama. So it was like a movie within a movie, eventually gets split up, becoming True Romance, and Natural Born Killers, which is another amazing Tarantino written movie, which I believe he removed his name from that because of like Oliver Stone shit.
Right.
But yeah, so Reservoir Dogs came out in 92. This movie comes out in 1993. Pulp Fiction comes out in 1994. And Tarantino just owns the mid 90s. Starring, your leads are Christian Slater as Clarence Worley and Patricia Arquette as Alabama. And then I'm just going to read the list of cameos and other people in this amazing cast. Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Bronson Pinchot, Balky from Perfect Strangers, Sam Jackson, Michael Rappaport, the great Saul Rubinek, who's in Hunters on Amazon right now, and a young James Gandolfini pre-Sopranos.
Oh, shit.
Just a fucking amazing cast that's just impressive by the names. And since it's my movie, I'm going to give you the quick plot synopsis.
Go ahead.
This movie is about Clarence, a comic book nerd who works at a comic book store, also loves Elvis and kung fu movies. His boss at the comic book store sets him up with a prostitute, Alabama. Turns out she comes clean. They fall in love instantly, get married. Clarence decides to extricate her from her pimp, Drexel. Goes over there, kills the pimp, accidentally steals all his cocaine, which then they go on a cross-country trip to sell said cocaine while the mob is following them and the cops are after all of them. In an amazing bit of Tarantino tension and violence and character and dialogue. And that's pretty much the plot. Anthony,
yeah,
I'm dying to know what you think of this, having watched it now out of context. 27 years later.
First off, I could see why you like this film.
Right?
Right off the bat, the guy being a comic book nerd and just sitting at a theater and then getting approached by some random woman.
Some hot girl.
Some hot girl that wants to bang him on his birthday.
Nerd wish fulfillment to the ultimate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would imagine you wanted in your life.
I wanted to be fucking Clarence when I saw this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was enjoying this movie at that point. Up until like Gary Oldman as the Drexel.
Drexel,
yeah, and then that whole scene, and really I was enjoying it up until after Dennis Hopper and
Christopher Walken had that's a great scene.
Yeah, their Sicilian scene. I was enjoying all that, but after that, I didn't enjoy the movie anymore.
What?
So I would have to say overall, this movie for me was a collection of like some scenes that you think would be really cool, some good actors, some witty dialogue, some good action, but none of it actually coalesced for me into a good movie. I didn't like it.
At what point did this bottom out for you? And see, I
knew this would disappoint you. After right when they go to California, after that, for me, the movie drops completely off.
So the whole okay.
I very, very much, and I didn't mind the violence, but I very much didn't like James Gandolfini just beating the hell out of Patricia Arquette. I just found that pretty distasteful. Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't think it was a. It seemed like to me like a movie Quentin Tarantino wrote and didn't direct.
That's exactly what it was. But
it wasn't. It just didn't seem as sharp. There was the scene with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper is good, but overall, it just seemed like a collection of cool moments that didn't coalesce into a story that I was riveted by. After he gets the girl and they find the money, I just didn't. I was like, this is kind of. It just felt like a collection of cameos.
I mean, there was a lot of cameos. I
wasn't a fan.
Okay,
I literally when they're doing the they're doing like the meetup stuff at the hotel, like they're setting that up, and I'm going, I don't like this anymore. This is not.
Wow.
Like this.
So this is Tarantino's first thing he ever wrote, but a lot of his movies, there's a lot of things that happen in a lot of his movies. The way it ends in what you call a Mexican standoff, where there's several groups of people just coming in, pointing at everybody else. That's a great, like, I love his Mexican standoffs because these characters, they make bad decisions and just crazy series of events lead them into this fucking crazy situation at the end. So that's interesting that you felt that whole third part bottomed out where they're setting up the deal.
Yeah, I mean, once they start going to California, I mean, I liked Michael Rappaport at times.
Yeah.
I liked Brad Pitt, but as I mentioned earlier, it didn't meld together in a film that I felt was good.
That's interesting. Okay, Ruggs.
So I was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was sitting around at a pizzeria, and a cafeteria pizzeria, and a bunch of girls come in, and they're in a group. There's some guys there, and they're all like, "We just came back from this movie, True Romance."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, what did you think?" And the girls were telling me, like, I was watching this movie going, this is going to be one of those fuck machine guy movies or whatever. And I thought I was going to hate it, but I fucking loved it. And I was like, really? I'm like, she's like, it was fucking violent as hell. And this girl takes a gun and beats the shit out of a guy, a giant guy.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that sounds great. So in the 90s, I guess when it was whatever, like, it wasn't seen as something bad, but I guess in today's context, I guess it is. So I went to see that movie because a girl told me that she loved it.
Well, it's kind of a romantic movie. It is, in a way, a romance movie. And
well, that's what the title is.
Yes, it is a true romance. And that scene, Anthony, that you didn't like, so some of the stuff is kind of like Quentin loves the F word and the N word, and all of this stuff. So now that's a little weird. But
none of that.
That didn't bother you.
Let me just say, that's not that stuff bothered me.
But James Gandolfini beating the crap out of Alabama. Where's our Coke?
That's a hard scene to watch.
Where's Clarence?
Even in its day, it was hard to watch.
But I've never seen a girl look sexier, all bloody and busted up. Let me tell you. Oh my God, Patricia Arquette is so
she is very good looking
and sexy. Yes. I loved Alabama, but she does like that one. It's a badass scene where she gets him with a corkscrew and finally kills him with a corkscrew and a shotgun, and then just continues to beat him. And you're like, holy fuck! He throws her through the glass. Fucking.
She laughs at him the whole time, like the Joker would, like Batman beating. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes, and it was so, like the point, and then where Clarence is out getting burgers and they're cutting back between what he's doing. Like the tension is great, and he's just beating the shit out of her. But I love Gandolfini's lines. This movie has some of my favorite dialogue. Like I was saying the lines along with the movie. I still remember all of them.
I remember when I went to go see this, I saw it was with a big group of people. There was a couple people that were like, eh. And I was like, well, all right. I understand you have a different opinion. That's fine. So I knew when Anthony was going to watch this, I knew that there's a very good chance that he could be on the opposite side of this.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of these movies that either you love it or you hate it. Now, as a movie, it's a Quentin Tarantino film. It's his first.
Yeah.
So it's not as polished as Reservoir Dogs, the second one that he did. So it does suffer from it being like, kind of like, a nerd's wet dream.
Yeah.
Well,
like, it's kind of semi-autobiographical,
and
too.
it's like choppy.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't
it's a
really
little
flow.
choppy, yes.
It does that whole 90s thing where like, it just gets you there.
There's a few
you
plot
just
holes.
Have to go along with,
there's a couple of plot holes.
But the thing that I loved about this movie is, first of all, it's the first time I've ever had crazy ass dialogue like that.
Yes.
So in its time, like right now, we take it for granted, but in its time, There was nothing like it. Where a fucking guy was talking about fucking kung fu films and that you'd see like Sonny Chiba.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever saw Sonny Chiba on screen was then. I mean, I might have seen him not unknowingly in my past when I was watching kung fu movies, but I've never seen someone communicate, oh, you got to watch the Street Fighter. And he named all the Street Fighter movies.
Up there, yeah.
And then Imran, didn't we just go out and watch the Street Fighter movies like immediately when they came out of video?
I think we watched this. Didn't we discover this movie together? Like, it felt like it was at the same time.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely.
And I had this on VHS and I would fucking wear the shit out of it.
Right. So he was talking about, and there's so much like movies stuff dropped in there, director stuff dropped. So that's where the education of Quentin Tarantino started to begin, where he would use his movies as a vehicle to kind of spread his love of things to you. And then you had Kevin Smith do the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of follow suit where his love of comics was now transported to you through his films, and his love of Star Wars and all that stuff was transported through his films. So I really appreciated that, because when I was going to movies before, I wasn't really getting that. I was getting like, okay, I see something happen, like Arnold would punch a guy and they'd go flying and then like, he'd say something funny and it'd be cheesy, but I wasn't learning anything. I wasn't like being inspired to learn more about art forms and stuff. So, and being at a place that was very artistic and with people that were very artsy fartsy into film and stuff, film nerds, they appreciated that about it as well. That it was kind of like, so like, avant-garde or so like kind of like edgy and doing weird shit. So, we look back at it now and we're like, oh, come on. Like this is crazy, but and I could totally see that someone could see it and not like it. So it's not like I'm blind to that. I'm not blind to the fact that people will be like, this is choppy. I remember, Siskel and Ebert.
They didn't like it. Ebert liked it better. He liked
Ebert liked it.
Yeah.
Siskel hated it.
He's like, I did not like it. Yes,
so
that's absolutely correct.
I remember them watching.
Yep.
I remember tuning in to watch that. And then I was like, oh, they're split on it.
Yeah.
So it's a polarizing film, but, it has some of my favorite dialogue.
Absolutely. The dialogue is great. I think Tony Scott's directing really helps the script, saves the script. There's so much energy, and like, I love how he loves top lighting. He just loves like one light above and you get the dramatic shadows. There's a man who in Crimson Tide made a shot of people running up and down submarine stairs in tight quarters, like really exciting.
Like, how many times did you say, what the fuck is a Drexel?
What the fuck is a Drexel?
What the fuck is a Drexel?
Black.
I mean,
White Boy Day.
It wasn't White Boy Day.
Yo,
he thought it was
Charlie, is it White Boy Day? Charlie, you done fucked up again. Go get Alabama. Bring that bitch back here.
I ate the pussy, ate everything.
I ate everything. If I ever eat, that Sam Jackson isn't there for like 3 great lines and he gets blown away.
Yeah, and he gets blown away.
Wasn't expecting that.
Right. I love the rockabilly cool. I love the opening Hans Zimmer score, that little xylophone medley.
I hated the score.
Oh, I fucking love that. I love that music.
I hated the score.
I love that Elvis is his mentor and it's Val Kilmer and you never see him. And Val Kilmer, he checks his gun at one point and puts it down. And I love how he's like, kill that pimp. He's like, fuck, don't deserve to live. And he's just like, always love you, Clarence. Always have, always will.
Always will.
So good. Let's talk about, dude, there's so many great scenes. So let's just talk about the Drexel scene. Gary Oldman this is a great monologue from him,
I didn't realize it was Gary Oldman.
Right?
I was like, is that Gary Oldman?
Gary
No
Oldman
way.
with dreads and like a fucked up eye and a scar.
Rastafarian Greg Oldman.
Yes, he based this performance after a reggae singer called, I have his name here somewhere, some reggae singer that he liked. And so that scene is so great.
Now we sitting down, ready to negotiate.
You already given up your shit. I seen the mystery to you. He's like, up there on a screen of a pair of titties, but you just been clocking me. I know I'm pretty, but I ain't as pretty as a pair of titties. Oh my God. I could do every line of this movie.
I'm sure you can.
And I love when he blows him away, shoots him in the dick, and he's just like, that was funny. Open your fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Just fucking blows him away. And that's off-screen violence. Like, some of the violence is on screen. Some of it that's off screen is even crazier. Dick Ritchie, Michael Rappaport is hilarious. Floyd is like the best. This is a Brad Pitt also before he gets big.
This is pre-big Brad Pitt.
This is pre-huge superstar Brad Pitt, and he invented this character Floyd himself. Floyd has some of the best lines.
Fun fact about Floyd. I found after doing some research, Judd Apatow decided to make Pineapple Express based on Floyd.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
It's
Seth Rogen, and James Franco is kind of like
Franco.
Floyd.
He's Floyd. He's just like, what would I do? What would a movie be like if Floyd was?
It's
the main
so great.
actor?
I believe Brad improvised all those lines, where he's like, "Get some cleaning products," or when Gandolfini comes and he's like, "Fucking condescend me, man. Fucking kill you, man." He's smoking out of a honey bear bong. Do you know how old school amazing that is?
Yeah, that's a classic.
Shit. That reminded me of all the weird shit we made bongs out of in college. Like,
is this your favorite movie of all
this
time?
is like one up
it's
there.
It's one of them. I think it's definitely in my top 20 films.
I mean,
yeah.
I've seen this so many times, and I enjoy.
I forget about it sometimes I like it so much because I know that it's not the highest quality film.
Yeah.
But it's a guilty pleasure. Definitely a guilty pleasure.
I could see it being a guilty pleasure because I looked up afterwards. I typed in True Romance overrated. I couldn't find many people that agreed with me. I was going, oh man, what did I see?
I think it's a little.
I literally don't want to watch it again. There's nothing.
Really?
There's nothing to think that I missed.
Son of a bitch.
I saw everything, and I said to myself, this isn't for me.
See,
this is coalesced into nothing for me. It's choppy. It's. There's a bunch of, like I said, cameos of short, brief appearances by actors, and you think that'd make it really cool. It just.
Oh, I definitely could see that you would not like it, and how people would probably think the same way. But I don't know, man. I saw that in the theater in the 90s, and when I saw that scene with Christopher Walken,
oh my god,
as Vincent Cacotti,
yes,
the Antichrist, who's in a vendetta kind of mood.
Let me tell you, your son, fuckhead that he is, leaves his driver's license in the hands of a dead guy.
Okay, let me say something real quick on that. Great scene. I do enjoy
one
that
of the best scenes ever.
Why doesn't Christopher Walken show up and get his comeuppance later?
That's a good point.
That's a plot hole.
He builds himself up in that scene as the villain of the movie.
He's only in that
show
scene.
Up again.
No, he's only in that scene.
It ends up being James Gandolfini and then the guy that doesn't speak any goddamn English being the main villain.
That get at the end.
The Italian guy that
That's a great point. Now that you said that, now I'm like, he should have been at the end of that.
He should have been there.
No, Walken's the boss. You don't go in and do the dirty work. He said it. He goes, I haven't killed anybody since 1984.
But that scene right there, I think that's why I sort of fell off, is that movie builds toward Walken. Walken kills the guy's dad.
Yeah.
So you want to see Walken in the movie more. You also want to see Walken die because he kills Dennis Hopper, who's Christian Slater's dad. Doesn't show up.
The boss doesn't get his hands dirty, Anthony.
Doesn't show up.
The boss doesn't get his hands dirty.
Think of your fucking favorite movies of all time. Well, this is one of them. But think of other superhero movies.
Yes.
Like, think of any other movie where the main bad guy doesn't show up the rest of the movie.
He's just more of a presence. It's very special.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at with the cameos that don't coalesce in anything.
I mean, but the fact that you had Walken and Hopper.
No, that's a great point. That would have been a nice little tie-in right there.
It to him.
I think I would have liked it a lot more if Walken got his
showed up at the end and died.
That's something that no one's ever said ever to me when we talk about this movie. So that's the first time I've heard that, and I'm happy to have heard that because it's a good criticism of the movie, and I'm like, yes, that would make the movie better. Absolutely,
I think it would make it better. Yeah.
There's okay,
but I don't. I can definitely see why you guys like it. I can see why most of the world likes it. There's especially of its time. It probably was very. It probably shook up the industry.
This is
a little bit.
before Pulp Fiction came out and took over the zeitgeist, and everybody was quoting Pulp Fiction. Like, there was no Pulp Fiction. This was first, and Reservoir Dogs also had a lot of the same great dialogue.
Right. But this one had Christian Slater, so I think it got more people into the theater.
So that was another great connection to me, because in high school I loved Pump Up the Volume and these Christian Slater movies that felt like
Gleaming the Cube,
where the geek or the downtrodden outcast kid,
Heathers,
yes, the weirdos, they will get their comeuppance, they will be the heroes. So picking him was great. He did a great job.
I didn't like Christian.
You didn't like Slater? I love. God damn it! I love Slater.
What about James Gandolfini's whole fucking thing about killing people and how the first one's the bitch?
Yeah, I love that. He goes, I true up on that
now
first one.
Now he just do it to see the expression change on their face.
Very well written.
Yeah, I'm like, that was these guys have like paragraph long monologues.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. It gives the actors time to shine. Each actor gets this moment to shine. And in movies today, they really don't.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. So I think that was cool. I like that a lot. I mean, I find Alabama annoying at times in this movie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I find Clarence sometimes annoying at certain times.
Doggy daddy.
Yeah.
He's so
but
adorable.
overall, it's such a crazy bonkers movie that it shouldn't even exist.
No.
But it does. It's not quite like Roadhouse, where like Roadhouse is like just defies all logic.
Yeah.
And whatever. Like this could actually happen.
Yeah, it's just a little bit exaggerated and heightened. Yes.
A guy could be like could go kill a pimp with a gun.
Yeah.
And get his narcotics by accident.
Yeah, and
go and try and sell it to
they're gonna
somebody.
go find him.
And it could end in some kind of a standoff.
Yeah.
I like that premise a lot, actually.
So that's a realistic premise, and plot wise, it makes sense. But I do think that it could have escalated to a better ending, and there is kind of it feels truncated, right? Like, so they go on this road trip. It's over in like a day.
From Detroit to California.
It would have been interesting to maybe.
Well, they got to get to California. Yeah.
Yeah. They just cut to there in California.
There was the original ending that Quentin wrote. Tony Scott changed. In the original ending, Clarence dies at the end.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah,
too.
and Tony Scott was like, I kind of like that he doesn't die because it's not a complete bummer, and they get to live and raise a family and escape. So, like, complete nerd wish fulfillment, and I love her narrating the thing is great. Bronson Pinchot, the guy who played Elliot, this was another great thing. I loved the show Perfect Strangers. He was Balky, and this was the first time I'd seen him since fucking Perfect Strangers. So that was another thing that
when
just
he's on the roller coaster and he's crying.
Oh my God. You know what? Both him and Matt Rappaport hated roller coasters. He wasn't acting in that scene. He was genuinely terrified and throwing up because he does.
Bronson Pinchot.
Yes.
I think you called him Bronson Elliott.
His name is Elliot. He plays Elliot.
I remember him from Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, he's in Beverly Hills Cop as Serge. Oh, Serge.
You like a lemon tweet?
Serge. I love at the end when there's the shootout and they're just yelling and he's like, officer, can I go? And that's the thing, the catalyst that sets him up. Yeah. He's like, you fucking stab me in the back. Fuck you. And then all the shooting starts. And then Dick Ritchie just throws the coke up in the air. It's so great. And Tom Sizemore, Chris Penn, Sean Penn's brother, who's been in a lot of Tarantino movies as the cops. Another great scene where he's in the elevator and they're yelling at him and he's freaking out. He's like, you're an actor, act, motherfucker. Come on, Elliot, hold it together.
They're all like doing commentary as he's getting his shit beat
I love this Clarence kid. He's crazy.
Yeah.
It is like I did notice all the Quentin Tarantino isms.
It's like every Quentin Tarantino thing.
It's like embryo form.
Yes.
Like you have the Mexican standoff. You have the long monologues. You have the bad guys that you're rooting for. Like everyone is bad. Even the protagonist is sort of bad. You have the acting within acting. So every Tarantino film has, it seems like everyone's playing a character within the character, right? Like even this, like, hey, you're an actor, act.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's very meta like that. So I can see all the things that Quentin Tarantino would later refine and
this is the first time I'd ever seen it because I didn't see Reservoir Dogs in the theater. I didn't see that until it was on video. So this is my first. And I didn't even know I was watching Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. I just went to go see this movie because a girl told me that it was crazy. So you know what I mean? At that point in time, I was like, and then the people that I knew that were like film nerds, like, no, Tarantino wrote this. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I don't even know what that means. And so they had already seen Reservoir Dogs that was playing at the Angelica, I believe, which is this small theater in New York. So I didn't go to see it because it was like a limited release. So, anyway, long story short, I had no idea. I'd never seen anything like it before. So that is basically imprinted on me, right? The fact that, like, you know, this is the first time I've ever seen anything this crazy in a film. And it resonated. It was a comic book nerd. It was, there was like the mafia, the Sicilian thing, deal, about Sicilian lying, you know, that great fucking thing. There was, shit like that. There was Balky was in it, and I love Balky.
Fucking Balky.
And then there was just a lot of shit there that I was just like ready for at that moment. Does it hold up as well as it did without the nostalgia? I don't know. I can't see it without that nostalgia.
Yeah, me neither.
So,
there's a roller coaster in the movie, but to me, the movie was a roller coaster ride from beginning to end, because I remember I didn't know where it was going when I first watched it.
Like when Dick Ritchie does the audition.
Yeah. Dick
and
Ritchie.
The lady's just like, whatever. Like,
get him. Shoot him.
Like, I smile every time.
Yeah.
Or when he's like gets up from the bathroom and you see that he's got like a little shit stain on his shirt that he wiped his ass with because he has no toilet paper. Like the fact that you can see that Christian Slater is eating hamburgers throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like he's constantly eating hamburgers. Like it's just crazy that like all these little details, like you just pick up a lot. Like Tarantino, his movies are rich with things that you can get
and character. Yeah.
So whether that stuff is of value or not, some people might go and say, well, this is just a misogynistic, dumb, stupid film that is just like a fucking nerd's fucking jack off.
It is like a teenage wish fulfillment kind of thing.
So much. It's a little bit more than that.
It is.
And I mean, how many times have I quoted this movie in my life?
All the time.
Like all the time.
Yes.
And when I meet somebody that knows the movie as well as I do, we automatically like, we know, like, I know you fucking understand what the fuck I'm talking about. We get it, blah, blah, blah.
So you're Sicilian, huh? I read a lot. This shit fast. I love where he's like, I'm
just quoting history.
Now tell me, that's a fact. Am I lying? I love when he walking is like, Sicilians the best liars. Man's got 17 tells. Woman's got 20. Well, man's got 17. Meaning that women are better at lying. In their eye, they got more tells. Just it's a fucking great scene.
I do want to say that even though I didn't like it, I didn't want to shit on this at all, or much, because I know you guys like it a lot.
You could shit on it.
But there isn't.
Your prerogative.
There isn't some like a ton for me to shit on. I just, for whatever reason, I was like, I just don't like this.
I mean, I think it is of, watching it now without all that nostalgia.
But I can go back and watch a few Tarantino. I can go back and watch. I mean, these are relatively recent. But I've watched Tarantino films and been like, yeah, I like this.
You need to watch Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction and The Kill Bills. Early Tarantino shit is my favorite. Now let's get back to something you said, Anthony, about the Tarantino world and the universe and stuff. So this is, you start to see his universe take place. There's a lot of great connections. Clarence's sunglasses, the taking care of business Elvis sunglasses, which I did have. I bought later and I would wear them and they look pretty fucking good in them. Yes.
You don't look good in anything.
No, it did. Remember, Ruggs? Remember I had those glasses for a long ass time?
When Imran had short hair.
Yep.
Oh no.
And he had a blue jacket, a blue leather jacket.
And I had those fucking glasses.
He had those glasses.
It was great. So those sunglasses repurposed in Kill Bill. Uma Thurman wears them in the hospital. Lee Donowitz, the producer, played by Saul Rubinek, is the grandson of Sergeant Donnie Donowitz from Inglourious Bastards. In Reservoir Dogs, Mr. White mentions that he worked with a girl named Alabama. There's 2 lines in this movie. He loves reusing his little catchphrases that he uses in other movies. One is when Drexel is like, he's like, sit down, grab yourself an egg roll. We got everything here from a little odd Joe to a damned if I know. I think that was also in Reservoir Dogs. And then that whole bit where Clarence is talking to Elliot, where he's like, don't look like a beautiful blonde with big tits and an ass, tastes like French vanilla ice cream. He goes,
yeah, but why are you trying to fuck me like one?
Why are you trying to fuck me like one?
Well, that's what they say in Reservoir Dogs.
And in Pulp Fiction, remember? He's like, what does Marcellus Wallace look like? Does he look like a bitch? Why are you trying to fuck him like one? That's the same kind of stuff. So I just love his universe and these characters that play in all his movies. I fucking love it. The word fuck was said 225 times in the movie.
I got one thing I noticed, which is because of watching it at this time in this era.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, the Weinsteins.
They were produced it, didn't they?
They were producing.
They were producing everything that he did.
Yeah, they were producing all the Tarantino stuff. But I was like, oh, the Weinsteins. I would not have even thought of that unless I was watching it.
You know what's funny is I was listening to that. Remember we talked about that Cinematically Correct podcast, and I was catching another episode, and they were reviewing She's All That, and they were also like, yeah, this is also partly written by Harvey Weinstein and produced, like he's done every movie.
They were the big independent studio of the time.
Miramax. Yeah. That's where you would go.
They were.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 90s and the early 2000s, that's where you went to get art house films. You went to Hollywood to get like the typical cookie cutter shit, and then Miramax would do the fucking shit with balls. And Harvey Weinstein, you know, being a complete asshole and a fucking piece of shit, for some reason he fucking was able to produce some interesting things. Now, in the context, a lot of the stuff is a little misogynistic, a little bit. I don't think most feminists would approve of some of the movies that he made.
Yeah,
but as an art form, take risks, do things.
Absolutely.
So, when you're an artist, sometimes you do stuff like that. So I don't know. It's weird to look at it through this lens that we have now.
I was wondering. I was like, I think this is a Weinstein movie, and it
was. Yeah, I saw that.
More fun facts. Drew Barrymore was the first choice for Alabama.
Yeah,
by Tony Scott, but Quentin Tarantino had written it with Keith Carradine and Joan Cusack in mind, and I'm glad we got Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette.
I liked Patricia Arquette a lot, actually.
She did. She was.
I thought she struck the right balance of like very caring and loving.
Yes,
like, someone that's very careful, but very considerate of others. Like she loves her man unconditionally, but she's also kind of ditzy.
Yeah,
but. Even though I didn't like her getting her ass beat because I don't like women getting their ass beat. And I thought she was hot.
Yeah.
She does come off, at least for me, as resourceful enough to try to potentially kill James Gandolfini.
Stay alive.
So she has like the ditzy, resourceful, also unconditional love thing. I like the balance.
That whole scene when she first walks in the hotel and he's just sitting there and she's just like
she's the hero of the movie.
Yeah,
first of all, it's her voice that you're hearing the whole time.
Yes, she starts it off and ends.
All right,
it,
so she knows she's going to make it out alive.
Yeah.
Then she's the one that pulls Clarence out. She fucking drives him.
Yeah.
She, whatever. So
she stops Gandolfini from getting the drugs and kills him.
She also commits the last kill in the Mexican.
Oh yeah, she shoots Chris Penn just out of like she just freaks
Rage.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, this for Cody. I need an ambulance. I'm fucking dying. That's another great thing in Reservoir Dogs. He does the same thing where who's the main guy? What's his name?
Michael Madsen?
No, in Reservoir Dogs, who plays the inside guy.
That's the Abomination.
Oh yes, why can't I remember his name? But there's a whole scene where he's bleeding out and he's like, I'm fucking dying. I need an ambulance. Like he always has that in his movies. But I saw this other video where this guy broke down Alabama and Clarence's relationship, and he's like, this is actually a great example of a healthy, loving, supportive relationship in movies. And like you wouldn't think you would find it in this movie. But they are a strong couple, and of course it's far fetched. They fall in love right away and get married. But yeah, I want it to be Clarence. I wanted to find my Alabama in New York City.
I definitely, when she is just banging this dude, or when she goes to the comic book shop and then ends up banging him, I'm like,
that's
I know exactly why Imran likes this. No, I think that's a hook. I go. I know I'm already sold on why Imran likes this, and at that point I was like, I'm fully in on this movie as well.
Yeah,
I'm along for the ride.
I love the ending. So the scene where Walken shoots Dennis Hopper in the head. Dennis Hopper was a little bit nervous because this is the same year Brandon Lee gets killed with the prop gun when they were shooting this. So to show him it was safe, Tony Scott took the bullet. He's like, look, you're going to shoot me in the head. It's safe. The problem was when this gun fired, the barrel extended and it was right up on his head and it hits him in the head, knocks him down, gives him a bloody head, leaving him on the ground. So Hopper was right to be nervous about a fucking gun stunt. Val Kilmer also put on all this makeup for 2 days of filming, and he's out of focus because they couldn't get the rights from the Presley estate, which is why he's listed in the credits as mentor, when you clearly know it's fucking Elvis, obviously, but they couldn't show his face. They couldn't even show that he looked similar to Elvis. And this is the best. That scene between Gandolfini and Patricia Arquette. Patricia Arquette's kind of a method actor. She needed to get in the mood. she would ask Tony Scott for a persuader. What's a persuader? He would slap her on the set.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like, kind of firmly to get her all fucking amped up, which I'm like, God damn, she's fucking badass. And a lot of people they know her from the show Medium, which is more recent. She's a lot older, but she's 24 in this movie. And I love her, like, crooked teeth, everything about her.
I actually read that, I don't know if you guys read this, but she never got braces because she wanted her teeth to look like that, or not look like that, to be unique within the film industry. Yeah,
and it works.
Make her look like a real person.
Yeah, it's kind of smart because look at
I found her to be very
look at
attractive.
Tom Cruise teeth. That's way too fucking straight, and those aren't real. Those aren't real. There's no way.
Tom Cruise got braces. I think he had like fucked up teeth.
Implants. He could just pull them out and put in fake teeth. He can afford it.
I had braces.
I had braces too. Did no good for me.
Oh, your teeth out. There's a lot wrong with your teeth.
This movie is such a cult hit that there is a true romance fest in Los Angeles. People dress up. They have Clarence's original purple Cadillac. People come and cosplay. There's a Twitter account at True Romance Fest. So it has, I would love to meet these people now. It's got a cult following. And I'm sure just like us, everybody fucking quotes these lines verbatim.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The Safari Motel Inn. Safari Motel Inn. And also another theory that I thought was really interesting and that you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A Redditor posts this theory. Is Cliff Booth Floyd's father?
Oh, shit.
I kind of like this. The character Brad Pitt plays in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh.
Could be Floyd's dad.
Oh.
Right? That's kind of fun.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
They got the same kind of
Isn't that crazy though?
That's somebody's putting that together.
But like, listen, Quentin Tarantino pulled Brad back in to do Inglourious Bastards and now got him in another movie. So there's been in 3 movies, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They work well together.
I do admire the fact that Quentin Tarantino has been able to just continually pull, not just the same crew of actors, but he's always, it seemed like every film he's able to pull a new actor that's pretty hot into that film and add them to his universe.
Yeah, because you have a lot of like Tom Sizemore, Chris Penn, these guys show up in a lot of these movies.
Well, then you look at like Inglourious Bastards, he adds Christoph
Waltz.
Yeah, and then you look at like Django Unchained, he adds Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And then you look at Inglourious Bastards, he adds Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and Inglourious Bastards, he added Leo. Leo wasn't ever in.
That's
I don't
right.
think he was ever in Quentin Tarantino.
And then that's the
films
first
until
time
then.
they worked together, Brad and Leo. I mean, the beginning of Inglourious Bastards, that the writing of that opening scene is probably some of his finest writing, along with the Hopper and Walken scene, and along with some monologues in Pulp Fiction. That's like his best.
You're half cantaloupe.
You're a cantaloupe.
You're half eggplant.
He's like, you're a part eggplant. You're a cantaloupe. I love this guy. Dude, the look on his face, he knows he's going to die.
It's
that's why he does it.
And he tells him
they changed the
They
bloodline.
changed them. So blonde hair, blue eyes becomes dark hair.
At that point, the
dark skin.
character knows he's going to die,
like,
so he wants to stick it as hard as he can.
He gets his one last cigarette, and then Walken gives him the kiss of death, right afterwards.
Yeah, isn't that great? That acting is great, where he laughs, right?
Yeah, right. He's
then
turning.
He laughs. He turns around. He tries to and then he gets the gun and fucking shoots him.
Getting angry.
It's so great.
I did laugh when Patricia Arquette's character meets Dennis Hopper, Christian Slater's dad, and they just make out as a first kiss.
He's like,
as the first time they greet each other.
He goes, "Goddamn right, she does taste like a peach."
Yeah,
she really tastes like a peach. She's so cute.
It's very quotable. I could see why you remember all the
I can
lines.
do every fucking line. It's so good.
Yeah, it's definitely full of lines. Just the fact that when she's watching TV, she's watching Chow Yun Fat, and I don't know what movie it is.
No,
it's The Killer.
the Free Jack is also playing on a
And
lot of
Free
these.
Jack is on
Free
there.
Jack. It's with this movie has Mick Jagger in it, right? It's
Anthony Hopkins.
and Anthony Hopkins, and a lot of people in this movie are watching Floyd's watching Free Jack. It's always on. It's just the Free Jack channel. I don't know why. Fucking Floyd's the best. He should have came in at the end and saved everyone.
I think it was Hard Boiled. I'm not sure.
Oh, John Woo.
John Woo.
The end also has a very John Woo influence on the action. The way he ramps it up and more people come in. All right, Anthony. Well, give me your rating. What would you give this movie watching it now? without the nostalgia.
Sorry, Imran.
It's okay. I
got a solid 4 for this movie.
Motherfucker. God damn.
Fuck that show. Get the fuck
This
out
was
of here.
not entertained.
Oh, you're going to be surprised. You may not be surprised at my number. Ruggs, what would you give this?
I know what your number is.
I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Okay. This is a 9 for me. Fuck it. So this will be a 9 movie. I will.
Now, I'm going to give it with the caveat that I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yes.
I don't think it's the greatest film ever made. I just like what I like about it. And remember, I saw this in the theater before any of this shit was like a commonplace thing where like you could like do dialogue like this and this is like completely new to me.
So I will say the one thing I can't say is watching it again now. I had not seen this movie in years. I've remembered it for years, remembered every line. In the last 27 years, I mean, I was literally fucking 17 years old when I watched this for the first time. It hit me a little bit differently. And I identified, I recognized why a 17, 18-year-old me loved this so much and why maybe it doesn't completely hold up, but it's still a fun, entertaining, ride of a unpredictable crime movie. But just the nostalgia where I was and where this movie came out, it's always going to be a fucking 9. It was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I could do the thing where Anthony hedges his bets where he says, well, I could give it the rating of like realistically.
Right.
What is it? And it's probably more like a 6.
Realistically, it's like a 7.5, maybe.
But
I'll give it
the
a 9.
nostalgia factor, I'll give it an 8.
Yeah,
because I just love the dialogue.
That's fine. I'm glad I got Anthony to watch it, and I fully get where you're coming from.
I'm glad I watched it too.
Cool. I totally get where you're coming from. That's what I wanted to know, and it's hard for me to see it from like your eyes,
And we've had a bunch of movie reviews. Not that I was trying to do this, but I think we've been in agreement on a lot of movies lately.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm just going to change it up a little bit.
All right, I like it, listener.
Just kidding. It's actually how I felt.
You motherfucker! I want the listener to watch True Romance. Send us.
They
your
probably
thoughts.
all like it. Everyone likes what you like and run, so you'll be fine.
They seem to. I know Wes Cranford will love this movie if he hasn't seen it. Okay,
Seth Morgan, Wes Cranford, they'll
all gonna love it.
They're sucking the teat of what you like. So. I'm kidding, guys. You guys like your own stuff.
Who wants to go next for the movie?
No, I haven't thought about this.
I'm in the midst of a debate on this one.
Okay.
So I have 3 movies in the till.
Oh shit. Okay.
If I could share these now.
Okay, it's gonna be one of these movies. You're gonna go next.
But we don't have to do it next week.
Your movie pick. No, we will have to do it next week.
Next week? We're doing this consecutive?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay. Is there nothing coming out?
What else are we talking about? Well,
fine.
this week, that Bloodshot movie comes out the following week. Nobody's going to see that fucking movie.
Okay.
No,
we're going to go watch it, but we have a week before that, so we can. Yeah.
Well, here are the 3 movies I'm thinking of, and I can let you guys decide.
Okay.
There's American Pie, which is basically a movie of my youth. As a high schooler.
Okay.
And then there's 2 Godzilla movies that I was pondering.
Oh, okay.
Original Godzilla in Japanese, or Godzilla versus Hedorah, which is a fucking wacky ass film.
Okay. I'm really glad that you have 2 Godzilla movies. I was kind of hoping you were going to pick a Godzilla movie because I have not seen many of these. And I think if let me just Google real quick if there's a way to watch Godzilla versus Hedorah. That's the one I want to see. That's the crazy 70s trippy one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to watch that. I think we should do that. But
let me just see if there's a stream.
Can we buy it?
Right,
can we watch it? Listen, Fiddlesticks will find us a stream. He knows where all the fucking illegal shit is.
If we can find a stream, we can do Godzilla.
Okay, potentially next week, listener. What year did that movie come out?
1971.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm glad.
Better known as Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Smeg. I was secretly hoping you were going to pick that movie.
Yeah.
So I like it. Okay, good. We'll find it. We'll watch it. We'll
Ruggs, do you remember watching that movie? When's the last time you seen that movie?
I've seen it maybe a year ago or something.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. So.
Oh, it's great.
I remember it being great.
It's
I remember it also being very hard. I don't know if this was just for me, but as a kid, I could never find a copy of this fucking movie.
I bought a copy of it as soon as it was released.
Okay.
Yeah. Aren't they? Didn't they all come out like recently on stuff?
Yeah, I think they did a re-release for a long time.
How do people do watch parties? We could do a watch party.
I don't know how that works. How do you play like a licensed movie and then put it online?
People do it on fucking Facebook all the time.
All right, that's the next movie pick. That's fucking great. Let's get to news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. Jock and Nerd recorded in front of a live flatulent audience. Jock and Nerd. Well done. So we have some comments from our last couple of episodes. The C2E2 episode, Blake Braden commented, I don't think I've ever heard Anthony that hyped, drunk, or on drugs before.
I fucking loved it.
It was great. Also, Imran, the quote...
Little tipsy.
The quote, we're going to get kicked out, is exactly what I imagine when you and Anthony go to a convention the entire time. Yeah, hasn't happened yet. Almost. I mean, I broke shit, and they still didn't kick me out. But that was G-Fest. We were a little tipsy, and we were a little fun, and Anthony was like you were at an EDM concert, but it was all nerds.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Sure.
They had the backpack on. It was a lot of fun.
I did have a backpack.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Paul Gunter talking about the episode before. Great episode and review of Edge of Tomorrow. Had no idea the name changed. Can't wait for the True Romance review and really appreciate the little Vicky Vale Batman soundtrack nod as well. Yes, somebody got that. It's little stupid shit that comes out of my mouth that I don't think people notice, and I love that he noticed the Vicky Vale thing. Hope you enjoyed the True Romance review. There it is. Roberto Rivera answering my question about PlayStation VR. He says, I haven't played too many games on the PlayStation VR, but the times I have tried it, I was mostly impressed with the size of the virtual screen for a regular game. You basically put on the headset and get a giant HD screen right in front of you. For reference, it made a 70-inch TV seem small.
Oh, shit.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of TV. Here's an email from Joe Henry. He says, hey guys, just finished listening to your review of Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. I am a huge time travel sci-fi nerd, and I've watched this numerous times and wanted to comment on your review. In the review, Ruggs asked why Tom Cruise didn't keep trying to go back and recruit General Brigham to destroy the Omega. You remember that, Ruggs?
Right.
The answer is he couldn't. After the plan to obtain the MacGuffin device from the General with Rita, they used the device while fleeing. The General's soldiers got in that car accident where Cage got a blood transfusion, removed the alien blood, and pulled Cage from the time travel loop, just like Rita. Once Cage realized that he had the location of the Omega, they had one shot to destroy the Omega for good. Since he knew...
Yeah, but did you just hear what he said?
Yes.
After the plan to obtain the MacGuffin device from General Rita, they used the device while fleeing.
Yeah.
And then they got into the car accident.
Yeah.
Convenient writing.
So
instead of getting the machine and running away, they should have been like, "Hey, I know where let me use this machine and find out. Let's fucking bomb this thing."
Well, I guess they needed a way for him to not use.
That's what I meant.
To remove the power. That it was a little contrived the way he lost the power.
Yeah. Well, they wrote it so he would lose the power, and they would have to do the one ditch thing. But they could have easily just said, hey, let me try this shit right here, and I'll tell you where the fucking thing is, General.
Yeah.
And he would have been like, why not? That sounds like a great idea. You can fucking get this thing over tomorrow. But no, they have him run out and all
It's a little convenient. But then he also comments on a little bit further on something that I had a question of. He says, some fans speculate that he now has the Omega's power to reset the day, which is why he starts at a different point the last time. Which is possible, but I believe it's because Rita and Cage killed the Omega in control of the Alphas and Mimics in Europe only. So maybe there's another Omega on Earth that sent Cage back unwittingly 24 hours earlier, leaving room for a sequel, of course. That's a good point. However, it could be that the fans are right and Cage became the Omega with the power to control time. Are we going to see a prequel?
I like
sequel?
the other version better. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
There's another Omega somewhere.
I kind of like that idea. He says the novel had a different ending, but I prefer the movies better. This is probably one of my favorite sci-fi action films I've seen in years, and it deserved to make a lot more money at the box office. So thank you for reviewing it, guys. It gave me multiple geek boners. Now I just have to figure out how to Spider-Man and Superman my wife when she least expects it. Oh God, easy with that, Joe Henry. Be careful.
You didn't pick this, right?
No. This was Seth Morgan pick Edge of Tomorrow, but the movie's a great time travel movie. It's got fans.
you go.
Joe Henry, try the Disney punch on your wife. Let us know how that goes. I'm not sure how you do that. Anyone? No? Have you figured it out? No.
The Disney punch?
Like Donkey Punch, but the Disney punch.
I think the Disney punch is when you ball up two of your fists. This is sound misogynistic.
Oh, no.
But anyway, you ball up two of your fists, and as you're going from behind, you bring your two fists to the woman or man's temple.
Yeah.
That you're doing.
Yeah.
And it makes like Mickey Mouse's ears. But you slam him right when you're about to jizz. And that's how you do the Disney.
We just made up a new one. Put that in Urban Dictionary. Somebody file that.
Oh my God, I'm so ashamed of it.
That's Urban Dictionary.
I had to try and figure this out.
I'm glad we did. Last thing I wanted to mention, I watched that new Netflix show called I Am Not Okay With This.
Okay.
Because it's a quick binge. It's 7 episodes, and they're 20 to 30 minutes long each. And it's basically a coming of age about this girl going through high school, and stuff has happened, except when she gets really mad or stressed out, weird superpower-y telekinetic things happen.
Sounds like Carrie.
It's a little bit like Carrie. And so
it sounds exactly like Carrie.
It's not, but it's not a horror version. It's her like going, what the fuck's going on? But it's more of a teen drama than a superhero show, but it's a quick watch. And it's not bad. You can watch it easily in a day.
I got something I watched.
What'd you watch?
Well, besides my Oscar tour, which you can follow along on Patreon.
Sign up today.
I did finish Narcos Season 2 Narcos Mexico Season 2.
Still good?
So, yeah, I'm thoroughly entertained by Narcos. It is getting a little formulaic in terms of they catch, the without spoiling anything, the drug dealers are bad. They try to catch them. They don't catch them.
Yeah.
The cops are corrupt. The government's corrupt.
Yeah.
Over and over and over, but I'm still entertained.
So let me guess, a lot of paying off cops and officials and a lot of
just a lot of corruption.
A lot
of corruption.
Yeah.
A lot of
side
roadblocks.
Mistresses.
No, not really side mistresses. Okay. Just a lot of roadblocks to getting the bad guy.
How many seasons is that for Narcos now?
Well, this is the second season of Mexico, but there's 5 overall now.
And there's 3
and it
of
all
Narcos.
kind of connects.
Whoa.
It connects to Colombia and.
What year are they at now in that one?
They're like in the late 80s.
Okay.
So they're at the point. It basically leaves off at the point where all the cartels are. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Hold on.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry. This isn't really a spoiler because they're basing this off of real stuff, but they're at the point now where all the cartels have split off and like the rise of Chapo and the Tijuana cartel in Sinaloa.
So they could go a couple more seasons, bring it up to
they
now.
Could definitely. I mean, they haven't even touched upon like all the stuff Chapo's known for.
Yeah.
So
there's the whole. You could do something in Miami or in Florida, a whole season.
Well, I think they still got a lot more. The Mexico stuff legitimately is still happening.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they got like years of shit that actually happened.
There could be another.
It's still, even to this day, they're still killing each other over there, all that stuff.
So that's another good 5-6 fucking seasons of shit you could get out there.
They're only in the late 80s on this one. So
who's the guy? What's his name? Like the main dude.
The main bad guy is Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo.
Oh, Gallardo. Oh,
he's the guy that unified all the plazas.
Oh, yeah.
To
El plomo
he united all of Mexico to basically sell marijuana and then cocaine.
It's like Mexican Sopranos.
Yeah, it's like Better Call Saul.
It's like Better Call Saul, yeah.
It's based on based on real stuff.
Yeah, mostly real.
You can look up these people.
I've been watching Altered Carbon.
Oh, season 2 is out. I haven't got a chance to
with
start.
Anthony Mackie.
Yes, he's
Falcon.
He is now Takeshi Kovacs, right? Re-sleeved.
That's right. You've watched the first.
I watched the first season about sleeving people and you're in sleeves and stuff.
I thought the first season. Well, from what I've seen, I think like 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
The first season is kind of like a little bit more polished than this one.
Really?
I feel like overall like production value is down a little bit. It looks more like a sci-fi show, like a sci-fi TV show. On the Sci-Fi Channel. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Is it good?
But I am enjoying it. It's cool to see everybody, but everybody's always talking about, we got a futuristic story of some badasses. It's got tons of diversity. It's interesting. It's kind of talking about corruption and all that, and the Class Wars and stuff like that. So it's got all that stuff.
It's interesting that you feel like they spent less money on it the second time because, a lot of people complain about these Netflix seasons like being 4 seasons or the longest is 7. There's usually short seasons. But traditionally, network-wise, when you make a show, every season you end up spending more. Every season costs exponentially more.
I'm sure they spent more, but it's not on the screen.
That's weird because usually...
they probably have to pay Anthony Mackie more.
Maybe that's what happened. That's what happens is the talent every season is going to renegotiate. They're going to ask for more money.
Marvel movies. He's a big dude. Kinnaman is in fucking Suicide Squad.
Yes, nobody cares about Joel Kinnaman.
So, yeah.
Anthony Mackie can do more, ask for more.
And he's a better actor. Hands down.
Absolutely. Joel Kinnaman is he was okay. Like, I don't like him normally, but he was not bad in last season. Because he's very generic-y, kind of generic.
Yeah.
But
he's a giant
very
dude.
generic-y kind of generic.
He's a very generic-y
he's a giant man, Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah.
But his acting isn't as compelling as Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie, there's so much going on in his emotions.
The Black Mirror episode is great, the one that he did.
Yeah, so he's just a way better actor.
I got to check out Altered Carbon, Season 2 on Netflix. I finished Hunters. It's good.
I have to watch that still. I got to catch up on Better Call Saul, and then I'm going to get to that.
So many things. All right, well, that's the show, fellas. Listener, if you'd be so kind, go over to Apple Podcasts. If you have an iOS device and you live in the U.S., light up those stars. The numbers are weird. Last week we had 115, but now it says 114, and in another place it says 113. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We're trying to get to 200, but I love all these reviews coming in. So light it up. Give us a star. If we get to 200, we can be official Rotten Tomatoes reviewers, or at least reapply and see what the fuck they say now. I got you 200 ratings, you fuckers. What are you doing? Get over here. Yes. Finally, get to a line. So you're Sicilian.
I don't know, apply. You got 115. Maybe they'll be like, yeah, they got a lot.
We started at 87. They wanted 200. I'm going to at least get to 150. Maybe I'll reapply every summer. Right, cool. Check out the show notes for this episode. jockandnerd.com/318 for links to everything we talked about, how to get in touch, how to subscribe, how to support the show, all the fun stuff. Tell your friends, tell your mom's friends about the Jock and Nerd podcast. Help spread the geekery. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Oh, yeah. Follow me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Oh, I forgot that part.
That's all right.
At ReallyRugBoy on Twitter.
Important. It's not important.
Fuck that show.
That's a big fuck up right there.
Fuck that show.
Not funny. Floppy Jock.